You feel me? Now put your motherfucking lighters up. One time, see, oh yeah. Real niggas bout to, what? Ay, love, ay. They saying Southside niggas like, ay. Up top, don't stop, love, ay. Look, PG niggas rapping, real DC niggas stepping, about to tear it up.
I'd like to welcome you to the Motherfucking World's Next Podcast in the
Sports betting world.
That's a nice one. As you can see, we have the sport betting gurus of the game. Ante Up is in the building. Marky P has been here before, but he has another member of the illustrious Ante Up crew.
Mike Curry.
I wouldn't call him Big Money Mike, but I ain't know if we wanted to get into all that right now.
The beast from the Middle East, Mike is for
beast
sure.
from the Middle East, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the actual nickname. But we got the boys here with us because, as you guys know, football season, it's right upon us. Most lovely time of the year for some of our sports betting aficionados. So we thought we'd bring the guys back and let you guys talk to us. So this year, New Year 2022. Let's get right to it. What are you most looking forward to as far as gambling in the betting world, as far as the NFL?
For me, week one. Week one is the that's how you get started. I talk with so many people every year. Just talked to someone the other day, potential client, and they're just like, oh, I want to wait those first 2-3 weeks, see how things play out. And I'm like, nah, that's not how I get down. We start, we only get so many weeks to do this shit, you know what I mean, as far as regular season. And, I like to start off with a bang. So week ones have been profitable for me the last few years. So I plan to get started and keep that going.
Do you agree? Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I remember talking to P last year, and I was like, yo, you going crazy. Just like the units he was putting down, he's like, we only get so many opportunities because football, it's over in February. So, I definitely agree with him. And week one is definitely, super exciting. So, I'm looking forward to it.
So, my question is, how do you practice for, or how do you study? Because you guys are big on, in particular, research, not just, making bets just to make bets. So, like you said, people, they want to start, they say they want to wait, they want to see some trends or maybe. So, with no trends, no nothing, what are you guys looking for to help you make these week one bets?
Yeah, for me, week one specifically, it really gets into a lot of ideology around how our coaches and players and coordinators thinking. I remember back a few years ago, Lamar's MVP season. I was all in on the Ravens week one. I feel like I had a few units on that. A few units for me is about a few $350, $400. So just on that, just off strength that hey, they fully committed to Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. Obviously, when we talk about the Baltimore Ravens, there's historic there, as far as what they do, what they bring to the table, how they're going to approach things. So, I was all in on that from the standpoint. They said, we're moving on from Flacco. We're turning it over to this kid. We got the whole summer to prepare and, really work this offense around them. So I was all in. And then we know the Dolphins were going through a lot that year too, right? That was the year that was they're tanking for Tua. And so I was all in on that Ravens week one. So little stuff like that, kind of how teams have gone about their off season and their approach to the game. And you could kind of study things from that standpoint. And there are some teams that's just going to get hyped from the past season, and it's it's not that sweet. Last season specifically, I remember I was on the Cardinals week one, and I believe they went to Tennessee. They were road dogs. And if you're listening right now, all NFC West teams and AFC West, and all NFC West teams and AFC North teams as road dogs are profitable.
Yeah, it is AFC North.
Under their current regime, they're profitable, meaning they won more games against the spread than they've lost.
So that's the Packers, Vikings.
No. So AFC North.
AFC North. Steelers, Bengals, Browns,
Ravens,
right.
And AFC West.
And NFC West.
NFC West.
Rams,
Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers.
Exactly. So all of those teams under their current regime as a road underdog are profitable. So little things like that, you can just kind of this team was a little hype last year. Let's kind of fade them to start this year and go from there.
Yeah. For me, I would piggyback a little bit on what P said. Some trends and also division dogs. Week one, these teams are obviously super familiar with each other. I think, in particularly this year, is going to be a little bit different as far as, we had a lot of player movement this offseason. You know, like Russell Wilson going to Denver. Like certain teams, they may structure. I mean, they may fail early on just because you know it's a lot of new faces and new places. You got a lot of new coaches. You know, Josh McDaniels, coach of the Raiders now. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, we had a lot of player movement. Baker Mayfield as well. You know, teams may struggle early on just because the continuity is not quite there. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
My next question was going to be a terminology question. You brought up units. I both heard you say units.
Yeah.
For maybe those laymen who don't really know, when you say units, what do you mean exactly?
Yeah, I mean, unit is whatever like you feel comfortable betting with. Whether that's like $50 on the game, that could be one unit for you. Usually, a unit for me is about $100. So if I put 4 units on the game, I'm putting $400 on this game. So like that's kind of like you know your confidence scale or whatever. But yeah, units is whatever you're comfortable betting like a particular number. Whether that's $50, $25, $100, or $1,000. Your unit is your unit. And you can, put however many units you want on a game, and that usually helps long term with your winning.
While the NFL is what you guys probably, I don't want to say do best, but that's probably what you guys,
Sure, for me, that and college basketball for me. I think we all have our like fields where we're better at, but that and college basketball for me.
So I think my next question would be, we're getting to that time of the year where all the sports are on. There will be college basketball, there'll be NFL, there'll be college football. There'll be some baseball. There'll be a lot of different sports. How do you maybe decide on what is your best bet or what is the game thing you're going to pick on or bet on?
Well, I would say, since we got, quite a few guys in Ante Up, our friend in Rome, Paris the prop god, P obviously me. Like they picked me up for like NBA. Like that's the real reason they picked me up to join Ante Up. But I like NFL as well, WNBA as well. We got it going right now. But I guess I feel like everybody is sharp in their own way. You know what I mean? Like I feel like NFL is like, since it's so short, I feel like we all hone in on that. But I mean, we all do different things. Like I said, our friend Paris, he's a prop guy, so he's gonna give you props from NBA, NFL, even some baseball props. So it's like we got so many guys that everybody's like pretty versatile in their own way. Everybody got their own everybody got their own vibe. So I think that's the good part.
Yeah, from my standpoint, like my gambling name is Meticulous Mark P. Like I'm very like we're not new to this, right? I've been doing this like I remember Charles when you first moved to New York. I won a baseball parlay for like $1,000. Like you had a roommate, so like stuff like that is just like. But I think just knowing yourself, like me, I kind of like just understand like what I'm good at. Like NFL and college basketball, like I said, I found like I do pretty well in those sports. Definitely over 56% in those sports, respectfully. Combined the last like 3 to 4 years. But just also like. I kind of know how to like pick and choose, like Rome, right? Our friend in Rome is just a little. Sometimes he's so over the top. I kind of know when to fade Rome because he might be a little too passionate. It's like, Rome, you don't really believe this. Like, you're talking yourself into it. So it's sort of little things like that. But like when you really can just try to understand your game, I don't bet college football. I don't love it. I don't have the passion to like look up the stats and look up the kids and all. Like I love the NFL though, and I do have the passion to do that. So I'm not gonna sit around and hope to win a parlay with some kids I don't know about at all. I'm not even gonna put down my $10 to $20.
So I got a question.
Yep.
Since you brought that up, since you don't bet college football, but you bet college basketball,
right?
So
exactly.
Like, where'd that come from? Like, why are you like so against one? Because I always wanted to ask, like, why are you like you don't like college football at all? But
right.
Like you just mentioned, like reasons why you don't like it, but there's reasons of why you bet college basketball.
Yeah. So for me, the difference is I think the amount of players, right? Okay. How they get to know, I have to learn. You got to learn about offensive linemen and playing Iowa, and it's just like that. That's tough. But if I got to learn about a 12-man roster,
Iowa scored 7 points this week. Look at that. Week 1 win 7-3 with 2 safeties.
Right, look at these kids, man. But so for me, I think that's the difference between like studying the two. But yeah, like if you just learn like what you do best. Even me, like the past couple NFL seasons, I'm like, around Thanksgiving, I'm a little sweeter. Like I'm losing more money around that time. But I'm winning overall for the season. But that's like kind of my weak point in the season. So I'm trying to get better at that. So just learn what you do best. and kind of just trying to stick to that and not just trying to gamble on everything, because that's when you're gambling and not like, doing this from a winning money standpoint.
Winning money standpoint, let's talk about a little bit about the business Ante Up. Discord, website, how do like people get involved who maybe are just like, I wanna make a bet. I don't really know. How do I get Ante Up to help me?
Yeah, so you can definitely reach out. We're available at anteupconsulting.com, anteupconsult.com as well. Both will get you there. On Twitter, we're twitter.com/anteupconsult. Instagram, Ante Up Consulting. But yeah, we have a Discord channel where, guys give out their daily plays, whether that's MLB, WNBA, NBA. So we have all of that where you could just get that. We also have just the standpoint of just like one-on-one, like, clientele and really like consulting with them. So I had a client last season who we all know, I guess I'll talk to you guys off the record, but someone paid me for the season, wants to like work with me one-on-one to like build his bankroll, et cetera, et cetera. So this guy, I'm giving him all the bets that I bet and all the money that I'm making. Like, he's getting all these plays from me. First like day out that he pays me for the season, pays me a couple $100. He wins $1,000 parlay. I help him win $1,000 parlay. And mind you, I'm not like a parlay guy. Like, I'm pretty like, I stick with like my straight bets and my teasers. So like, he wins that day, right? But like me, I'll also tell you when to take money out. And it's like, hey, you just won $1,000, buddy. Like, take like $500 out just to like, you just came up today. So, but he never took money out. And like, he eventually lost all that bread, and it's just like he wanted to gamble on stuff that like I didn't. NBA comes back, I don't care yet. Like, you know what I mean? So but he wants to gamble on a Tuesday on NBA in November, and it's like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to win money or do you want to play? Those are the two. So I think that consulting like part where you can just talk to someone one-on-one, whether it's me, whether it's Rome, whether you just get that like insight of why we're doing the things that we do or why we're betting the games that we bet. I think that's the best service, and that's the one like you have to pay money for, whether it's monthly or yearly, however you want to like take advantage of. But that's the best play.
You said something really interesting. You said, do you want to make money or do you want to play?
Yeah, I like that.
It's real. It's real.
So for me, I think the question becomes, all right, we're not in Vegas. We're not in Atlantic City. We're not in one of these major places where there's a casino. And I just want a place. It's Sunday morning at 9 a.m. I'm like, I just want to play us a bet today.
Yeah.
I should still come to you is what you're telling me.
Yeah, you can still come to me and just like that's perfect. That's the perfect time to come to me, right? Because I'm the guy that like bets late in the clock. Like I'm sure we'll talk about some of the new stuff we got going on. But I'm gonna like really like help people like bet late into the clock from 11:30 a.m. when those inactive players are released to that 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time slot where the game starts. Like really just like crunch down, like forget all the shit that you heard during the week. This is the time to like bet, the numbers and not the players. Like, so, I think that's probably the best time, because so many people wake up on Saturday and say the same thing about college football and may lose like $100, $150 of the bankroll. Now they're only down to 50 for the NFL on Sunday. That takes discipline. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I just think that is probably the best route. Just come to me and like, hey, let's just work it out. I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking, and then I'll tell you when it's time to like go.
But
he's not lying though, because like he'll drop like a 10-point teaser at like 12:43, like for real.
3 teams, you can get that at -110.
So my next question though is, I get the hey, I'm coming to you. I just want to play, but like you said, let's say I'm dedicated. I'm like, yo, season starts September 8th.
Yep.
I'm like, this year, I'm all in. I'm hitting my bets. I know you talked about what the service actually provides, but what is kind of the mindset going into it that the consumer needs to have? What do I need to like kind of think of when I'm like, all right, every week I'm hitting up I'm hitting up Ante Up, or every like what mindset do I need to be in?
I think that it's just well, first of all, I think you already got the right mindset, right? Like, cause you're not you're all in, right? You're all in for this is what you're doing. So that's already the right mindset compared to someone who's just like, well, I got 20, 25, like that I try to like hit like a 4 or 5 team parlay, and so with that mind state, I would just tell you, all right, let's do it. Like you just set aside like a few hundred to a G. Set that aside. And we're not gonna bet all that in week 1. We're gonna just be meticulous about it. Bet 220 to win 200 there. Another 110 to win 100 there, and maybe like a $5 to $10 parlay. Because here's the thing about parlays: if I bet $500 on a game and I win, I win, so I bet $550 to win 500. That's minus 110. So that means $110 to win 100. So $550 to win 500. Let's say I win that. Boom. I made $500. I didn't make $1,000 because I put up my $550. I made $500. But I also bet $50 on a parlay that lost. Now I want $450. I still got to bet the following week. Now, you know what I mean? Like I want all my bread. So I just think that mind state, you get in there, you handle business. You talk to me every week. You talk to the guys, and I tell you exactly what to bet on, how many units, and you go from there. Also,
I think it's a marathon and not a sprint. You know what I'm saying? It's, football season is such a long season. Like we're not gonna lie. Like we might have a bad couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to lie and act like we win every week. But risk management is definitely key. You know what I'm saying? Don't go crazy on one game just because you feel real good or real passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? Like really, just bankroll management is just so key because that's how you can get through the entire marathon instead of just blowing 300 like oh damn I can't bet for like 3 weeks now or something like that.
Yeah.
So some people they'll lose that. I'm done betting for the year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what you mean? Like that's what bankroll management. That's the key right there. So I definitely say that.
Yeah, that's the most important part. If this is the camera. Listen, this is the most important part of sports gambling and gambling in general. Never bet what you can't afford to lose. It's that simple.
Say that again.
Never bet what you cannot afford to lose. Simple.
Let's just dive a little bit more into management because you talk bankroll management, you talk risk management. I hear risk management more about the passion that one feels for a bet versus bankroll being what you physically put out there.
Yeah.
So how does one do both? Because like you said, Serena, she got through the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And if you would have bet her the first 2 rounds, you would have made some good bread.
Yeah.
Sure.
So how do you go from, all right, she's on a hot streak to like, hey, let me not just be betting Serena because everyone is talking, how do you decide those type of that management?
I feel like we could kind of touch on like the Serena thing because I didn't bet on her at all. I kind of wanted to, but I was just like, let me just stay away. Tennis not my bag.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, tennis not my bag. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll support all the African American players. Coco Gauff, Madison Keys, Serena. I love y'all. Naomi Osaka, I love y'all, but it's not my bag, so I ain't about to hop into it. But we were talking about in the chat the other day the amount of money that was on Serena. Like the public was all over Serena, and I don't know if it was you, but somebody. I think we might got to fade Serena. We might got to bet against her. So I'm like, let me keep my feelings out of it because I'm gonna be upset. Like it's Serena's, but that's why I just left it alone because like I might get biased and like just because I want her to win, I want the moment for her. She was retiring, but I was like, let me just stay away, and she lost.
Yeah, so that's definitely risk management. Even like from my standpoint, like I said, I don't bet college football because I don't really know it, right? Like so. Also, I don't bet on my teams. Like I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. It is what it is. But we're not that great. I don't bet on us. Like I would rather stay away from my team and the emotion of my team, and rather bet on these teams that I don't care about. I just care about you covering the spread.
Facts.
So I think that's more like risk management. Bankroll management is more so like, hey, if I got, like I said, put up $330 to start the year. Don't bet $330 that week. Like bet 100 to 150, and then I believe I'm gonna get you at least one win out of that. So maybe you'll at least have the same amount to more that you could bet the following week. So it's just like little stuff like that. Like don't just I just came up, I'm about to throw it all on it. Like it's like I get it, but like we're here to win long term. So if you want to win long term, and I'm talking about I can do this while I'm on my deathbed, like get booed do, give me the phone, let me look at the lines, and I'll tell Rome what to put in for me, right? Like, I can do this to my deathbed, right? So I can study games and study lines. So if you want to win long term and have another source of income, because really, Chuck, what you were talking about, somebody like really just saying, I'm all in this year, like I'm going to fuck with Ante Up. That was me last year. Like I bet like here and there, but like those units that Mike was talking about earlier, like I was like, yo, this is the year. Prop God Paris. I'm gonna take 2 of his plays, parlay that, do my teaser, put $300 on my teaser, so I can get the Raiders from +3 to +10, and you know what I mean, like little stuff like that. Like I don't care what anybody thinks about it, but I'll put several hundred on that, bring that back, and keep it moving.
Hey, so I think for me, the most interesting thing about the whole betting, I think, atmosphere, or I guess metaverse, is the idea that like there's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
So for you guys as an agency, how do you guys attack that? Because as clients, I'm sure everyone comes in here thinking, yeah, you know, I got the secret sauce. My uncle, my grandfather told me bet this on this day at this time. Right. So like, how do you kind of balance, hey, I get, you know, you're a person to all fans versus like, you know, we've done the research. We have the 3 years experience. We have all different people doing different amount of things and all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I always say Sunday to Sunday. Like, I study this shit Sunday to Sunday. So once the games are over, or those 4 p.m. slot games start to, like, dwindle down, I start working on the next week, the notes for the following week. So it's literally Sunday to Sunday with me. So, I mean, I think that's just, you know, a really big part of it. But everybody has different, like, techniques or how they, like, you know, I don't know how Paris does it, the prop guy. Like, but he be giving out winners every single week. And I don't care. I'll tell him, if you're in I don't care if somebody, you know, gets a winning pick from, you know, their grandma, or just hit them in a dream, or they were in some brothel in Tijuana. I don't care. Just bring me the winners. Just get our clients the wins. And that's what it's about. And also from a client standpoint, like we have the Discord. You can kind of see like Rome is MLB, right? Like you can see Rome be doing this thing. That's what like he's MLB. I like when he be doing, you know, these type of days when he attacks stuff like this. Or you can see me last year with the teasers. You was like, okay, P's coming out with a teaser, 2-team. I'm gonna fuck with that. You know, or you know, so and then like I said, Paris with the props, or Mike with the NBA, WNBA. So you'll kind of just like get a feel for like who you will rather like sway with in certain spots. Playoffs, I think we're all NFLs, specifically playoffs. I think we were all like pretty sharp around that time of year. I was on Joey Covers. That's my kind of guy. My kind of guy. NFL LSU, more NFL LSU. There we go. You know what I'm saying. You know, so stuff like that. But we all got different techniques. But it's really just about bringing home the win. I don't care how.
Yeah, I personally, I ain't trying to give away too much sauce.
I like it.
I got a couple of techniques, but it's like we got so many guys in Ante Up, and we got so many. It's a lot going on. Like I got my show Curry in the Pot. We got the Monday morning pod, which was a lot of fun. We're gonna be doing that again this year.
Yeah. Shout out, I got Rob Parker for pulling up last season.
Yeah,
too.
he sure did pull up.
Fox Sports.
You know, Ante Up University. You know, it's like we got so many like different shows that I feel like it's impossible to not be locked in. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just named 3 or 4 shows, including my own. So it's like it's kind of no days off, to be honest with you. So it's just so much going on, and you just got to be locked in for real. I'm locked in like this. I'm so excited for this time of the year just because
this is your Christmas
for sure. For sure.
This begins the sports year for me in my head. Okay. Like, yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here until July. You know what I mean?
Wow. So from September to July.
Yeah. This year specifically, I told myself I'm a further dedicated. Last year, I definitely dedicated myself to the longest football season ever. We added the Ante Up University, which my guy Mike is taking over hosting this season. So look out for that. You know, for the college football, and then we also added the morning show. So, you know, I added more shows. The longer, you know, they added an extra week to football season. So the longest football season ever.
Shout out Jordan too.
Yeah. Shout out Jordan. She's a great host for the Monday morning pod.
Shout out.
It's great vibes. But yeah, so, you know, but this year, like, you know, I had that time off, and I said I'm gonna further dedicate myself, do all the full 9 months through NBA playoffs, NBA free agency. We breaking news now. Instagram,
yeah, I see
Twitter.
that.
So we're trying to do it all.
Another thing before I feel like we gotta be locked in. We had that photo shoot. It's like you can't we can't have a photo shoot and not be locked in. You know what I'm saying? It's
like definitely giving boy band for sure.
Facts.
It was feeling like 2000, early 2000s. I liked it. Talking about Ante Up University, the new things that's going on with Ante Up. We talked about university. Tell us more. I know you guys got a lot of other things in the works.
Yeah, sure thing. So, first things like I said, Mike Curry, my good man, he's going to take over the Ante Up University. I think part of the reason I had a little burnout at the end of last year in college football. Like I said, I don't have that passion for it, but I now still have to like find plays and be professional about it, though, right?
Fuck these kids,
you know what I mean? Like Thursday nights, I would dedicate to like trying to find a play for college football, and even though that's not my forte, but yeah, Ante Up University, Mike is taking over. Still got Rome, little Paris here and there. I might drop in here and there, right? If I feel like a play just comes to me, yeah. But I just didn't want to do it every week with a play that I might not be passionate about. So we got that. We still got the Monday morning podcast. So we just review the NFL Sunday, what happened over the week, the headlines. So that show, like, I really just began to like love doing that show because it's less of the.
So it's a pod as well.
It's a podcast as well, but it's less.
And when can we catch it?
It's we can catch it on all the podcast networks. Apple, Spotify, all of those.
And it's every Monday morning.
Every Monday morning. It's out before 9 a.m.
umbrella.
Yes, it's under the What's the Line podcast umbrella.
Am I allowed to ask when you guys recorded?
We recorded Sunday night, so like during that final game of the night, that Sunday night.
Right after the Sunday night game.
Yep.
Wow, so you guys are at midnight with it.
I'm not gonna lie. So a couple times last year, I go to work early. I gotta wake up at like 4:30, 4:40. I don't record like my part at like 4 a.m. a couple times.
Yeah. So I mean, we just came up with a way to do it. Like, we'll start it during that Sunday night game. I'll edit it that night, and then like Mike and I will send like a clip to like review the Sunday night game in the morning. I just edit those, put it in there, and just drop it from there. So we got the Monday morning pod. We got Ante Up University. Also, Curry in the Pod podcast.
Yes,
you're gonna catch me on there more this year. NBA talk. And then, so we're gonna add Twitter Spaces this year. Twitter Spaces with Pete. I don't have the exact name for it just yet, but it's gonna start 7 days from today.
I just want to say the last time I was in the Twitter Spaces with you, I was correct. I just want to say
you was in there. We was talking about the NBA Finals, right? That's right. We was talking about it.
I was correct.
So this is more so.
What you said,
I said the Warriors would win. When they were down 2-1, and everybody, I was like, "There's no way the Warriors are not winning this." I was like, "I don't understand how you guys can."
Game 4, legendary.
I was telling everybody that the Celtics bench stunk, and I was just like, "How are you guys telling me a bench with Peyton Pritchard and fucking what's the guy who looks like Binky from Arthur? Grant Williams. And what's the other person on the bench?
Crazy.
And Derek White. Those three were about to win the NBA championship. Fuck out of my face. But continue. I'm sorry.
So the Twitter Spaces. I just wanted to be like an interactive, like just Twitter Spaces with P. Like how my mind goes from that 11:30 mark when active players and inactive players are like released to the start of the actual football game, which is 1 p.m. And we're just gonna have people like come in. Like it's not like a set roster, but we'll have like a Mike Curry come in, our friend from Rome, our friend from Paris, Lil Keese. We'll also just have like people that just want to talk about what's going down, the lines, the up to the minute lines, and we're just gonna have fun with it. I got MCML will be in there as well, so we're just gonna talk like what I'm betting, what Mike is betting, what Rome is betting, up to the line, which I feel has the most value, up to the lines right before the game starts. I just want to kind of like talk with more people. Have more people just come through, like, hey, what you think about this bet? Why I would or why I wouldn't bet it. We'll have like some FanDuel, with the props and stuff like that out there. So we will, we'll do a lot of different things.
One in on the basketball pod. Let me know. I'm trying to come through.
Basketball.
I got a few takes. I don't know if I got betting takes, but I got some. What happened in the day of the sport? I got some for y'all.
No doubt. Because the NBA never stops, right? It's just like literally
too much.
Like the other day.
That's my biggest issue.
Donovan Mitchell straight while I'm in the shower. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is happening
I think that's my biggest issue with the NFL. It doesn't have the NFL off season doesn't stop but there's some monotony to it.
Right.
Like, you know, like we got layman's period where people be moving in the NBA at any given fucking time in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's just too much. And it's too many games. 82 games is ridiculous. Yeah. It's too much. So yeah, get me on so I can just talk some shit about whoever's doing some shit.
No doubt. After that NBA season, we're gonna push through and we're gonna make it. I mean, college basketball is gonna be in there too.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Oh, but also, last thing, I mean, when we were doing, so we're gonna introduce a survivor pool this year.
Okay.
So it'll be about a $10 buy-in. But
is it weekly or
this is breaking news right now?
Okay.
I've not
so is this weekly or for the year?
This is weekly. So it's for the year. But you have to pick one team just to win a game, but you cannot pick the same team twice. So yeah, it's $10 to enter, and there'll be like a cash prize for every the people. Week? No, there'll be a cash prize at the end of the season.
Got you.
For like a large cash prize for the winner or the winners. They could split it. But you cannot pick the same team twice.
Is it starting during football season?
Yeah, it's about to start. So I'm breaking the news right now. We're dropping it tonight. That was a plan with the Keys photo drop. Our tech guy.
All right, I like that. What I wanted to ask about, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Mook. I know Mook be getting his gambling on from time to time.
I dabble.
What about the non-kind of sports bets? Because that's what I'm interested in. Is the Gatorade gonna be red? Is it gonna be a head or tails? Like
Super Bowl, those props.
Those random other props, and even just other sporting in general. Who will be the first to make a basket? Kind of things that are within the game. First touchdown. Things were in the game, but not within the game. How do you guys kind of attack those? Because I think those are interesting, especially to like the kind of pseudo fan.
I feel like first touchdown and first basket, that stuff you gotta kind of just sprinkle on. Like, don't go crazy on that. Like, I don't advise that. But I mean, I be like, you'll see like some people like on Twitter, like they'll go crazy off of hitting like 5 dudes to score the first basket, like $5 to win like 10 bands or something crazy like that. But I don't really like dabble into that. I might do like some anytime touchdown parlays, but I'll never do like a first touchdown or first basket. Like sometimes you can't really predict that stuff, honestly. Like, I'm not even gonna say sometimes. You can't really predict that.
Yeah, I mean that stuff, and what Mike was saying about those people that may have those random first basket. They listen. If the odds that someone has placed that and hit that right is obviously low. So how many times do you think that they didn't show you that losing ticket, those losing tickets, to get to that one winning ticket? And I would still think they came up like crazy, right? You know what I mean? They still came up, but you lose a lot of times in order to win, and that takes a lot of confidence to continue doing. But I would say though some of those definitely have like value. Like I remember, you're the great guy to talk to this about too, Chuck. Devontae Adams. It was like 2 years ago where he was literally scoring like all of these touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers only wanted to throw to him. So like a value, like a $30 on him at plus 600 to be the first touchdown scorer in a game, like that's some really good value, especially for how its target share. So like that, but like you said, like Mike said, that's something I want to sprinkle on. A anytime touchdown scorer, I think has more like long-term value. We were talking about, what was the team last year? Was it the Titans or some team that just continued to let like running backs score on them every single game? I can't remember who they were.
I think it was the Titans.
I think it was the Titans. They let running backs continue to score on them.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah, eventually they played like the 49ers. I took like Elijah Mitchell who scored like a touchdown. So and you can still get that at plus money. But that's more of a like I think I actually do have a bet for you, Charles. Is coming up soon.
Okay.
It's non-sports related,
all right.
But it's a prop. My guy Keith talked about it today in the Discord. Off the what is it? Off record shit or something like that.
Off topic.
But off topic. So Abbott Elementary.
Yes.
The Emmys is coming up.
Yes.
So everybody's listening out. This is family fun right here, right? Minus the So Abbott Elementary is like plus 600 to win most outstanding comedy at the Emmys. I think that has a lot of value just from the standpoint that like that was a really good show, right? And like
got the second season.
Got the second season.
Got put on primetime Wednesday.
Put on primetime Wednesday. Like Quinta is doing a lot of different things. Like as far as like
got the deal.
How she's coming out. Like just on the cover of these magazines. And like this one could be like for the culture, and you can get that at plus 600 right now. So betting on the Emmy. So obviously that's not sports related, but there's a lot of value there. It's and you can do something with that plus 600. So Abbott Elementary Emmys. Let's go.
Okay. What you got?
My question was more so just going to be about the research. Like, how does one go about research? I'm talking about you two personally, not the people y'all consult. Like, how do you two go about your own personal research going about?
They said they can't give you all the sauce.
Right. Can't give you all the sauce, but I'll tell you, I'm just, like I said, Sunday to Sunday. Well, first of all, we got the pod notes, right? Mm-hmm. So every week I work on the pod notes, which is basically all the teams that are against the spread in their particular situation. Okay. So let's say, like I told you guys about the AFC North and the NFC West is road dogs. I know that on the top of my head because I study it from Sunday to Sunday, and I was like, one day I was like, God damn, all these motherfuckers covering these spots. So Pittsburgh catching 7 week 1, just throwing it out there. So little things like that. But I had a game in mind, right, that came to me the other day, and I was just like, I think I'm going to bet with this particular team. And this morning I woke up 7:30 a.m., which is not my shift. I'm a night shift guy, not the morning shift guy. But I just started to look at when this team played at this other team's stadium. I looked at the score, the spread, the total, the weather, the humidity. I put it all in Excel. And that took me a couple hours. I'm not finished with it. Like after when I get back home later tonight and stuff, I'm gonna like compare and contrast like why they covered here, why they didn't cover here, and just see if there's a pattern. But like that alone can't make me make a bet. Like I have to like do more due diligence and see like, all right, like why did this happen in this spot? So go back to this game, see if maybe they played on a Thursday night before, like they had a long week, was it a short week, stuff like that. So all of that matters. And you can't just take like, you also got to be like a little cautious. So like that's kind of how I present it. Like I'll make an Excel with little stuff like that, and sometimes it'll have even more stuff for like baseball. If I'm handicapping baseball, I want to know like the pitcher, how many pitches did he pitch, in this game, days off. So like all of that stuff. Like I'll just make an Excel and just compare and contrast.
You bet against right hand or left hand.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Like how many how many hits did he give up compared to runs? So stuff like that. Like and just kind of compare and contrast, and also have my own opinion and thought on it, and but not let it be swayed by by anything. So
I would say I definitely do research, but also a lot of it's just my feel and opinion on it, because you don't want to like get too analytical and do too much research. Like I feel like you'll lose that way, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Like if you're just going straight off of these stats, like, like I don't think that's necessarily a good recipe to win. But you gotta like take a little bit of each thing. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get like. How does this player? What's his stats like on grass, field, or turf? You talking about right-handed pitchers or right-handed batters, left-handed batters, stuff like that against right-handed pitchers, stuff like that. You definitely want to look at. How does a player play on the road versus how does he play away, or a certain coach in a primetime spot.
Right.
How does his team do in that situation? So. Just a little bit of everything, but definitely like my opinion and my research.
Yeah, you gotta watch too.
Yeah, you definitely gotta watch too. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask how much of it is not watching the actual game. How much is I'm going to be watching? Film. Actual coaches tape. With the drawing of O's, X's and O's and shit.
I know Rome does that. That's definitely Rome's bag. That's not my bag. But I think all of that, like you said, it's a big mix of everything. All of that stuff matters. Sometimes I just like take the time to just like I have my like, but we watch sports. Like I gotta watch the game.
That's how we started. For real, we just started off as watching sports.
Right, exactly. And then like after you watch, you realize certain things. You realize certain spots that people are good in, certain spots people are bad in, and try to take advantage of there, and then use the data to maybe create that dialogue for your handicap, which makes it a little easier to present.
I like. Before we get up out of here, what are you? We talked about like what you're looking forward to. Oh no, I'm sorry. One more thing before we get to that. Fantasy football. How does fantasy football play a part in the sort of the whole gambling atmosphere? Does it affect anything you do or don't do?
I would say me, no.
Okay.
But Rome is totally against fantasy football. Totally against. He's like, he don't like when we talk about it in the chat. He don't even want to like.
Y'all go ahead with all that nonsense, man.
Yeah, he said fake football the other day. That's what he called it. Yeah, that's what he said the other day.
So I'm curious, maybe because he's not here to speak for himself, but like, for you guys, like, you say it doesn't play a part, but I know people who are like, like they're worried about like the lineups and like they might not touch something if it affects, like I don't want to do this because my fantasy dude might. That's no bearing on anything.
No, we can't do that. I mean, it's definitely a big conflict of interest. Sometimes I'm just like, this motherfucker took a kickback on me, but I
that's what I'm spread because there's money up there. Right. But listen, because my thing is, I think this is my greater question.
Like Tony Pollard, I'm going against you, but I took the Cowboys this week. But fuck.
All right, so thank you. I think you set it up perfectly for me. Fantasy football, there be money in these things too. So it's not like everybody is. So I'm curious. So like. Because you said, you guys are a consulting company. You got bigger issues.
There's definitely a place for fantasy football.
Is that place separate within the gambling atmosphere, or is it like part of it? It's more so.
It's definitely part of the Ante Up atmosphere.
Gotcha.
And it's definitely part of the gambling atmosphere, right? We gotta pay dues in fantasy football. That's gambling to me, honestly. Like it's not. Listen. We have our own league, right? And we're sickos about them right now. But $150 pay-in, right? Only 3 people get paid. The third person gets their money back, just $150. That was last season.
Wait, this year, they upped
it. They upped it this year, but last year I was third place. I just got my money back. The other 9 people in the league don't get shit. So it is gambling, and like we do have a space for that. Like how people like they get, you can make it a part of your like consulting packages, like fantasy football waiver wire editions. Who you think I should sneak in? Like try to
you be dropping the articles on that too.
I drop a weekly waiver wire article. This year it'll be the article and or like just an Instagram post, stuff like that.
Okay.
So but it definitely has that aspect, and I like help people like with their drafts and tell people like players to potentially look for. And stuff like that, as well as like week to week, like, hey, who do you think I should start this week? So yeah, there's definitely an angle for it because you people put up for your leagues, 10-team, 12-team leagues, and only a certain amount of people are getting paid. So it is gambling. Yes, that is what that is.
Okay. Well, that was my little because I always think about that. I wonder, sort of like you said, the conflict of interest because hey, if someone playing in a league where they might think they might win $2K. And they got Lamar Jackson. They might be like, "Yo,
something with that.
Let me not take this +4 on the Ravens because he's gonna go crazy." Or I might take him over on the rushing. I might try to park. I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see people doing that. That's not a way. Like, literally, leave fantasy football just as fantasy football. When you're talking about like bets and against the spread, and totals, stuff like that. You want to make sure that like you're all in and as far as like what you're like focusing on and managing. Fantasy football is like you got the guys you got. Like you just set your lineup according to like the stats, right? So I don't think you should ever like intertwine the two from that standpoint. But like I said, there's definitely a space for fantasy football and gambling.
I love it. Will you have anything else before we get ready to wrap it up?
Not at all.
Can I do one more last thing? I know we talked about the new stuff we got going on.
Give it to
going
us.
through my phone to make sure I don't mispronounce this. Rather, just want to make sure I got it all in. But so this year, Ante Up Consulting, we're going to be once again sponsored by another great adventure.com, which is a place for luxury travel. But we're also going to be sponsoring, our friend Maul. He has a SB Nation Hogs Haven podcast, and we're going to be doing I'm gonna be on there weekly best bet. So we're going to be
Make
on
some noise
there.
for that. Let's make some noise for that.
Hey.
Shout out Maul.
So, I'm going to be on that. I'm just going to drop a weekly best bet and try to, have some more interaction with that. We're definitely just trying to do more stuff. Like I said, the Twitter Spaces. Catch me every Sunday. Every Sunday, I'm your guy. 11:30 after church. Come see me, baby.
So the first Sunday will be September
11. Yes, 11:30 a.m. So you'll see promo for that throughout the week. You'll see some more like a group picture of we want to just keep the promo going.
You know the WNBA Finals starts September 11th as well.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yep, I do know that, and it keeps going though after the 11th. Man, every day is a chance to win, baby. Every day is a chance. I got the beast from the Middle East with me.
You guys are sick.
I love being how you did that so respectfully.
It was very beautiful.
Right.
I think my final thing is, what do you believe in your heart of heart is the most important thing that the consumer needs to do to be ready for this upcoming football season, both college and NFL?
I would say throw out your biases, forget what you once knew. It's a new world order. Every year, these coaches got their heads against the wall to be great. If you're not great, you're going to get replaced. So when people got their backs against the wall and quarterbacks and, their situations, I got a good job right now, whatever. Like, I'm going to be all right. Like, I know, but these football players, it's called not for long, NFL. So I'm talking from that standpoint. So forget what you once knew. Everybody has to make changes and adapt. And if they don't, they're going to be gone. So, forget the biases of the past. Focus on the now.
I'm gonna go back to what I was saying earlier about risk management and bankroll management, because those two go hand in hand. And you got to be ready. You got to be ready, man. It's a long season, and just remember that it's a marathon and not a sprint. So once you get that in mind, you'll be just fine, for real.
Let's make some money. Best time of the year, baby.
Shout out to the Ante Up podcast, Ante Up Consulting, Ante Up University, Monday Morning Podcast, you name it, the boys are doing it. Tapping with them. Like I said, the week, it starts, and you said every day throughout the week, y'all got something for us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think that was my last thing.
Right.
As football is a Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
Let me take y'all through the week.
Thank you. That's what we want to know.
Sundays, we're watching football, but Sundays I got my Twitter Spaces, like I said, 11:30 to 1. Twitter Spaces these Sundays, each and every Sunday, football season. We got the Monday Morning Podcast. That drops every Monday morning. We're just reviewing everything that happened during the week.
We're giving out a best bet.
Best bet for Monday night as well. Every Friday we'll just drop maybe a 10-minute podcast on just that. Every Thursday rather, 10-minute podcast just on that Thursday night game. Fridays we got the actual Ante Up What's the Line podcast. That's our major podcast that we'll drop, and then on Saturday mornings we'll drop Ante Up University. So yeah, it's packed, baby.
5 out of the 7. You know where to be. Wednesday you can relax. Get yourself ready for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
All right?
That's a self-care day to get ready for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's Sunday to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday.
Get your line
These are
right
your
for
guys
Thursday
to tap
night.
in with. They got everything. MLB, NBA, NFL, college football, WNBA. You want props. They got it all. I promise you, these are the guys you need to know. Any final words?
Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all always show love, man. I had to reach out. I wanted to, show that we continue to move forward and try to innovate the brand. So yeah, we got a lot of things coming. But yeah, Survivor Pool as well. Don't forget about that because we're gonna drop that link. $10 to get in, but you can win a very big prize. So yeah, I want everybody to participate.
Come on, man. Remember, tell them you came through us. I don't know if it'll help, but let them know.
All right.